It's due time. Four Rivered is back in the house, ladies and gentlemen, on a semi-regular schedule. 40 degrees outside and sunny. Feels nice. Got on a new shirt today. Ordered me some new clothes. How about that? Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. I ordered me two Panthers and two Clemson shirts. The Clemson shirts came in yesterday, so I got to wash those first because I'm kind of, turn your mic around just a little bit. I'm kind of funny about
Yeah, there we go.
I like to wash them that first time before I wear them because of the dye and stuff that's in them.
Awesome.
But, yeah, I got two Clemsons, two Panthers. The Panthers is the other one is the blue that they wear.
What about Steelers?
Huh?
Did
Couldn't
you see,
find any.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You didn't see any on there.
I couldn't find any App State. I like the dry
That's what I'm
fit.
saying.
Yep.
It's a good look too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just
I got these, and you know they're NFL licensed, so you're going to pay more. But,
yeah.
But even then, these came through Dick's, and I got them for like $34.
Hey,
and then the Clemson shirts, I got those for $24.
Yeah,
Those
man.
were the Fanatics, but I'm
Fantastic.
still hunting for some Steelers and still hunting for some Appalachian. I couldn't find any Appalachian either.
Get you a Carolina one. You could. Come on, man. I need to make. Come on.
Dude.
Yeah, give Richie one, right? Because he's a Carolina fan, right?
I've never worn one of those.
Right.
I told you I did have a sticker on my car for 4 years.
Yeah, you did.
That was the contribution.
Because of
Now, I will say this.
Yes,
I will say
lovely
this.
Lindsay,
I
yeah.
have worn, I was given and did wear and still have it, a NC State dad shirt.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man. Look. you
I'm
know
mellowing
what?
out in my old years.
No, but you know what? That's good, man. That's really good. I mean, there's a young lady over in the Mountain View area. She was she went to ECU. She's a lot younger than I am, but I've coached her kid, and I knew her grandfather very well. Roy Waters was her grandfather.
Yeah.
Roy, knew him for years with the Legion. Actually, since I was a kid, I've known him. But anyway, she's a big Clemson fan. She says ECU girl, but Clemson fan. So she's
Milton saying good morning. Glad to have you along with us.
Good morning,
this
Milton. I believe
morning.
his refrigerator said just
Yeah, and
was
it's
awful.
new
I
and
said,
it
Oh my
died.
gosh! Hope the warranty
Richie,
was okay.
good morning. Yeah, yeah. I've got the down at the newspaper office. We've got a little more staff. About a week or so ago, I asked if anybody drank coffee because I don't drink coffee. I have a Keurig here. I bought a Keurig for down there because they do drink some coffee, and they need a refrigerator. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm going by Lowe's. I bought one for Addison in the basement. It's about about that tall, but it's got a freezer section on it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Less than $300.
Sure.
And so I'm going to get one of those and stick down at the office.
You know, there's a place in Lincoln that's got like refurbished.
They used to
refrigerator.
be.
Okay, so it's gone.
Is that the one beside the Family Dollar you're thinking about?
It may
Yep.
be. Okay,
It's
so
now
it's
a
not there.
boutique. Yeah,
Okay,
they
okay.
had. I don't think there's a used appliance place in Lincoln anymore.
There's not
a
anymore,
couple
okay.
in Shelby.
Okay.
I know Calvin deals with them, but
Well,
no.
you know the
Milton said
three
he had no
things-
luck at all.
Sorry, Milton. The three things that we got from there all are still
Yeah.
functioning. You know what's interesting is a guy. There's an older gentleman that moved down and retired. He lived up north. He moved down, just retired, moved down. Lives in the Startown area, and Don Whitehouse is his name, and he worked for GE, like as a repairman for like 40-some. I mean, it was and I call him up, something break. He'd say, "Young man, I can make this thing run until the day." It was an older refrigerator, right? He said, "Go buy this old freezer that they got here." And he said, I can keep it running for 100 years. I mean, he
probably can do better repairs on the older stuff
That's what he
than
was
the
saying.
newer stuff.
He said, "All I got to do is find the parts." He
Yeah.
said, "I can find the parts."
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool though. Cool.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I had a great night last night. You came out and watched the kids.
I did.
We had
Why would I want to
youthful-
stay at home in a nice
Hey,
warm
man, look,
house when I can go out
Trent,
and watch baseball?
Your nephew is as good as gold, and he's like one of my favorite kids in the world.
You should have seen his look on his face when he saw me.
Oh yeah,
He was not happy. He's like, "Oh my God, he's not going to help, is he?" Because I done told him when football comes, I own him.
Yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
told him. He said,
and
I'm
he's
not,
playing.
I'm not playing. I said, "Yes, you
And
are."
he's playing.
I said, "If I'd come pick you up every day, you're playing."
Did you see the tall, wiry kid that we got on the team, Caden Clendenin? Did you see? He's never played baseball before. He's always raced like motorbike stuff. His dad played baseball at Hickory in high school years ago for David Kraft. That kid is as wiry and athletic. I said, "Son, on toss, sweep, right." He's never played football. I said, "On toss, sweep, right, who gets the ball?" He just looked at me and said, "Say, I do." He said, I do. I said, on toss sweep left, who gets the ball? He just looked at me and said, say I do. He said, I do. I said, good. That rascal's playing football, man. He's something else, man. And he's just raw. But what's interesting is I've got 14 kids, which is a lot for a youth league baseball team. But what's interesting is 5 of them have never played baseball, and 3 of them have only played 1 year.
I could be in that group.
And now I'm going to tell you, Lanny, skill set, they're still working. But it is as fun as anything out there with just raw, because they'll say and do.
As long as we're having a good time.
I say, go ahead and get on off. Like when I'm coaching third and they're on third, as soon as the ball's pitched, kid turns around and looks at me and says, what does that mean? I said, it means take 2 or 3 more steps. Everything's new to them, right? So, it's kind of like having that kid that's never played football before. He doesn't have any bad habits. You just
like
have
that
to,
kind.
Right. You just have to work, into that, right? But we're having a good time with his kids. But I had a great time last night, too, when I got home because it takes me a while to wind down. I never do, actually. But I watched USFL football last night, and I really enjoyed the quarterback. They had a 2-quarterback system. Skip Holtz is coaching the Birmingham team. And that second kid, number 2, McCull or whatever his name is phenomenal. He is big. He is strong. He can throw the ball, and he can run it. Last night they ran a zone read option, all right? He takes the ball. He reads like this, all right? Turns and is getting ready to throw just a quick hitter right here, the hot route, just a quick hot. The defensive end jumps up in the air. Dude fakes it and takes off. It was incredible.
Well, they still having fun.
And I've enjoyed the XFL, so it's been fun.
You were talking about these kids that didn't know what they don't know in baseball.
Right.
I did one baseball season, 5-year-old T-ball when Wes was 5. Yeah. And we spent the first week or 2 running bases going first, second, because they had no idea.
Right, they'll go to third.
They had no idea what to do. Yeah.
I remember when Quinn played T-ball, we were out there, and of course, he's 18 now, so it's been, 13, 14 years ago. He's out there, and he gets up there, and he hit right-handed when he was young. I switched him over when he was about 9 to hit left, but he goes up there and mashes one because he swung and missed like 50 times. Mashed it, took off. He went to third. He ran him backwards, baby. I said, let him go. Let him go.
I forgot about that one, Milton. At the intersection of 27 and 150, where it splits, right in Lincoln.
Yes.
And let me ask you this, Milton. Those little buildings behind it. Do you know what that used to be? What that originally was?
No, I don't.
It was a motel back in the day, and those little cabins were the rooms.
No.
I mean, I'm talking way long ago.
What a great idea, though.
Yeah, and it was a service station.
So, Laney, it's kind of like it was like an Airbnb, even though it was a hotel motel.
I don't know how long ago that was, but it was
crazy.
A long time ago.
The original Airbnb, right?
Morning, honey.
I met Rollo last night.
That's what she said.
Oh,
motor
did she say
inn.
that?
Motor inn's what Milton said it was called back in the day. A motor inn. Yeah.
Rollo is a fantastic guy. He got a little cold, though. He's freezing a little bit last night.
I told him I'd take him home with me, but he couldn't decide what he wants to do.
No, man, that guy, I got to meet him. It was good.
Yep.
It was good.
Richie said he saw this stat last night. It was kind of surprising. For the first time since 1994, the New Jersey Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Knicks, and the Nets have all made the playoffs in the same year.
That is a great stat.
Yeah, that is a good stat. I haven't seen that,
How about
Richie.
that?
Hadn't seen that. You were talking about Birmingham, and I'm not sure. I wanted to look this up. I thought this was right. The first competing league was the WFL, the World Football League. Okay, didn't last long. Started in 73. First season was 74. The last season was 75.
Right.
Charlotte had one. They were the Charlotte Hornets. They played in the old Memorial Stadium. It's where they played.
Okay.
I was in high school.
Okay.
And the high school band went down, and we played a halftime show with another band from Charlotte, and it was against the Chicago Fire. And we were on TV in Chicago.
No
now, it wasn't
way.
Televised here. But I remember going, and the reason I bring that up, because I wanted to look at the teams.
Wow.
Maybe it'll get here. Come on, scroll on down. But here's some of the players. L.C. Greenwood.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Jethro Pugh, Kenny Stabler, Rayfield Wright, Bill Berge. Let's see. John Gillum. Remember John Gillum, wide receiver for the Vikings. Calvin Hill, Randy Johnson, who's a quarterback, Craig Morton, quarterback, Curly Culp, Daryl LaMonica.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Does that say the Hawaii? I can't remember.
Yeah, they had a team in Hawaii, the Hawaiians, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Paul Warfield was a guy.
Golly.
And then, but Charlotte had one. I was looking for the teams. Mm-hmm. There we go. But Birmingham had a team. So they have tried to get a team all the way back. But they were the Birmingham Americans and then the Vulcans.
Okay.
And then it was the Chicago Fire and the Wind.
Okay.
And then the New York Stars became the Charlotte Stars that became the Charlotte Hornets. Now, they only lasted 2 years.
Okay.
But they played Detroit had a team, Florida, San Antonio, the Hawaiians, the Houston Texans. Then they moved to Shreveport, Jacksonville, Memphis,
that's cool,
Philadelphia, Portland, and Southern Cal. And the team and the stadiums that they played in was Legion Field in Birmingham, Soldier Field, Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Alamo Stadium in San Antonio, Astrodome. They played at the Gator Bowl, Liberty Bowl, American Legion Memorial Stadium. I've played one game in that stadium. John F. Kennedy Stadium in Philadelphia, and Anaheim Stadium.
So Memorial Stadium was American Legion Memorial Stadium in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yep, sure was. But when you talked about it just I wanted to jump back and look because I was pretty sure that Birmingham had one all the way back.
Well, L.C. Greenwood. I mean, there's a lot of great people that you mentioned there. Craig Morton's one. I can't read that.
Danny White was there.
Danny White. So, golly.
And then, the next time that happened was when the USFL came in.
Yeah.
But that was I just wanted to mention that because I thought Birmingham had always wanted to do it.
Last night, when I'm watching the game, I can't help but instead of just enjoying the game, I like break it down. You can't help it, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting there looking at things, and I will tell you what I like. The biggest difference that I've seen so far between the USFL and the XFL is the offensive tackles. In the USFL, they're more NFL-like. Now, guard and center play looks about the same. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not good. What I'm saying is the biggest difference I've seen is last night the USFL tackles moved similarly like NFL tackles. Okay? So, so far that's what I've seen. The defensive ends in the USFL are maybe a little different in the XFL. Okay? Just maybe just a little better. Defensive back play, I'd say it's probably 50-50 on both sides. And I guess my point is it's very exciting because now there's a lot more opportunity for people to play out to make sure.
And watch.
And for us to watch football and enjoy the game. But what I appreciate about the people, Rock and the other people that start XFL and, of course, the USFL with their ownership, I appreciate the investment and the opportunity that is providing so many people to possibly make it one day to the NFL.
No, I agree.
Now, that may not be what their goal is, but it's not a bad goal.
If they can hang on and just weather the storm.
And they will.
But, there's been 30 and 35,000 people at some of the games. So,
and there's I mean, you see a beer snake?
Yeah.
If you live anywhere
that's
close,
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Garrick said, Dad, that beer snake.
That's pretty awesome.
I said, gee,
And, Sister, good morning. Exciting night in Raleigh. Hockey playoffs began, and I know I saw a video she posted, and then Kim had commented on it. That place was packed and rocking. Yeah.
I'm so glad Lindsay.
And they did win 1-0.
We need to make her our correspondent for the Hurricanes, man. Hey, dude, she's into it. I love it.
They bought.
I love it. Do they have enough tickets for a guest? Like if a guest were to show up, did they buy 3 instead of 2?
I wish it were a little bit closer. I didn't change your name, and my wife has already called me out. There you go, honey. There you go. Now it says full member. It said Juju.
What an honor.
She called me out.
Golly. Dude, it was amazing. I felt like I had this plethora of knowledge and understanding.
We had an audience last night.
And love, and it was amazing how
we had an audience.
Now back to me.
Live. We had a live audience last night. We had Jason Engel was here and Tommy Smith.
Oh, that's cool.
They'd come up about some shirts, and I'm
cool.
like, hang out if you want to. I said, when I can get caught up on my business and clean that area out.
Right there, baby.
I got blinds. I got blinds coming for the front window so we
good.
can, close down. Yeah. Put the big screen in here because if I got blinds there, I can put a big screen up.
Buffalo, you know what? We can order from Don's or from the Hub, Buffalo Wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get Pepsis and waters.
That's right.
And the game is on.
I have other things in the refrigerator too. Always be prepared. You're always prepared. You're always prepared. That's the way it works. Let's see. What else have I got here? Milton said the Giants and the Jets will ruin that stat for New York. And that's true. Let me take a break. And then I'm going to ask you a question. Last night we had Rick Barnes. God, he's a great individual.
Isn't he a good guy?
Hickory native, very proud of where he came from.
Gracious, man.
Yes, he is. Head coach at Tennessee. The only thing against him, he left my Tigers, but I understood. He was on, and Jerry Moore, legendary coach from Appalachian, and Jerry Moore said something last night. We had him on to talk a little bit about Matt Eisenhower, going into the Catawba County Hall of Fame. And Jerry made a comment of what he felt like was the most important positions in football. And I'm going to get your opinion when we come back.
All right.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
Welcome back. Forrest getting confused with his headphones. You got to put them on right and left.
Is it like a left-handed rate?
There's a letter. If you don't, the words come out backwards. It's on right here. I need to go get you my glasses.
Oh, I got it.
You got to put them on right and left, because if you don't, the words will come out backwards. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. Very careful.
Can't even see it.
Let's see here. Yes, Carrie. Carrie said my wife wants to go see hockey so bad. Carrie said, will there be beast chairs?
Who said that?
Of course there will. Carrie Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Of course there will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Awesome guy. Awesome guy. That's funny.
Richie said, I've always liked The Rock, but he won me over for this XFL venture. There was a show on called XFL Player 54. It was about the journey to the XFL. On the show, he said, I need this to succeed, not for me. It could fail, and I will still be okay. I need to succeed for every player that's coming through with their aspirations and dreams. It needs to succeed for them, not me.
That's right.
And that's
awesome. Why I like the way that it's been resurrected. Like Vince McMahon and all those guys, I think they found a way not to do it, right? With the way
the pandemic was the thing too.
Right. And because the AAF, is that what it was called?
I think that's right.
That was good football.
I liked it. Yeah, I did.
And so we're seeing a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
And, now the USFL, Laney, does not do the kickoff like the XFL does. Where the XFL's, I think, 5 yards apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ball's kicked, and as soon as it got, they're down like the 30 or 35. USFL, they were kicking off. Hey, that's okay.
That's a bad day.
But what I want to say about that was, the reason I brought that up, I think, and it's kind of what we hit on a couple weeks ago, but I think taking the kickoff out of football would be the wrong thing to do.
You can't take take elements out of the game.
Right.
You have to tweak it.
But you can adapt. Yeah. Tweak, adapt, and I think that's okay. And you know what? If it doesn't work, then just go back to what you were doing.
Yeah.
But I really like what the XFL's done with that.
No, I think I watch it. It's a little hard for me to watch it now because there's so much softball on.
Yes.
And I love watching softball. And there's an SEC game. They were playing Alabama. I think it was Alabama was at Missouri Saturday. Dude, it was wintertime. It was 36 degrees and a hard wind. Those people in the stands were wrapped up.
The girls were.
Oh, no.
They don't care, boy.
But, boys, it's just.
Let me tell you something. My nieces, starting with Kinley, of course, she's graduated, but Reagan, who's a freshman at Maiden, and Riley, who's a younger sister. Let me tell you something, dude. It don't matter if it's 5 degrees out there. Yep. When they play, it's on.
Yeah. And, I mean, this was this weekend. It was 36 degrees in Missouri. I mean, it was cold chilly, in the middle of the day. Milton was right. McMahon wanted a WWE circus in a football game. Yeah. And that's what it was instead of it being a legitimate product. I want to come back to a comment that just hit me on that, but let me get your opinion as we were talking. Sure. Coach Moore said last night his two main positions on each side of the ball was offensive line and corner. That was his two places. Cool. And when he was talking about – we had him on to talk about Matt Eisenhower going into the Catawba County Sports Hall of Fame, and he was talking about I told him, I said, Coach, I hate to tell you this, but no, I was telling Juju, I had a big tight end at Highland when I was down there that was being recruited by Clemson, Robert Geddes. And he was a specimen, but he didn't have the heart to go do it.
Right.
He was like 6'5", 220, 230, great hands. I mean, he was a beast. Yeah. He liked to play basketball.
Sure.
And he wasn't going anywhere in basketball because he wasn't big enough to be a big man, and he didn't have the skills and speed and quickness to be a handler. Yeah. So Clemson recruited him. Winston-Salem State recruited him, and I think he wound up not going anywhere, but Mike O'Kane was the recruiter, and he was at Clemson, and he was also recruiting Matt. And I was talking heavier about Matt than I was about Robert.
No doubt about it.
And he said, Coach, he just doesn't fit our profile. He's just a little bit short. I said, I'm telling you, you're missing a kid with a motor. And I said, because a kid is an inch or two shorter on the offensive line, why do you care? I said, I'm just telling you, you're missing a specimen here.
So what happens is recruiting coordinators get fired.
Well, that's what I told Juju.
They actually get fired if you bring a kid in
that don't fit the profile
that
and
doesn't
don't make
have the numbers, and I'm talking about height, weight, that kind of wingspan, all that. If they don't work out, but if you bring in the 6'5",
the prototypical,
and he doesn't work out, what's on the kid then?
Yeah, that's right.
It's always on the kid.
Matt Eisenhower.
It's always on him.
It under 30 years old is already in the Appalachian.
Oh yeah.
Sports Hall of Fame.
Lanny, there is not a better offensive lineman.
And kid, it ain't even close. And Coach Moore was talking about just the kid, and he said, he said, I never had a problem with that whole group of kids.
No.
He said nothing ever came across my desk.
No.
And he said they took care of their own things.
And they took care of that team.
Yeah, that's
Let
right.
me tell you
and that's why they won national championships.
Those guys ran that team. Now, I will tell you that one of his best friends, John Holt, I think I was telling you, I coached him at Irwin High School. Matt was a freshman at App. John was a senior at Irwin High School. And John was bouncing back and forth between Western and App. And I told him, I said, John, I said, there's a boy up there at App. I said, and he's a man that I coached when I was at Maiden. I said, you are a lot like him. It's like you guys got kind of the same mentality about how you go about and do things, the way you are in the weight room, the way you are aggressive when you lock on with people. You're very coachable. You guys are true leaders. I said, if you go, when you go up there for your visit again, you need to find him, Matt Eisenhower. He said, Coach, I will. Went up there. Matt's went took him around. He come back and said, Coach, I'm going to App. So that guy's going to be my best friend. Yeah. And of course, they met with Coach Elliott, the line coach at that time, Sean Elliott, right? And John told me, he said, Coach, he said, that guy's a little I said, you're going to do well up there. Yeah. I said, that guy's up your alley, bro.
Yeah.
But they had a great career. They had a great time, and it was real exciting. But, Matt, when he was a freshman at Maiden, I had him in JV football for like a couple of weeks. And I told Coach Brown, I said, Coach Brown, look, I have not been coaching very long. I said, but I'm telling you, as a player, playing against a lot of guys in 4A football, going to East Carolina and watching and things, I said, this guy may be the best lineman, like technique-wise, because when he locks on, there's nothing you can do to get off of him. Mm-hmm. And I said, in defensively, he's just as solid. It's incredible.
We came up here and played. This was when we moved up to varsity. We came up here and played. We were supposed to play at my place, and we didn't have any stands. And I called Tom, and I said, can we come to your place and you just give us some money? Absolutely. He said, I'll give you $1,000. Just come up here and play. And I said, we won't make $1,000 to gate at our place. And I said, your people will not be happy because they don't have anywhere to come watch the game. Right. So we came up here and played, and that was Matt's senior year. And I had told my kids about Matt, and nobody believed me. And I can see it right now in my mind. I can see Matt pulling and just mowing people down all the way down the field. He didn't make a block and stop.
Right.
He just kept mowing people down. My kids come to the sideline, Coach, you weren't kidding. I'm like, I told you. I said, he's the real deal.
He knock you down and go to the next guy.
Yeah, and he'll come back and help you up and come back and do it again.
Oh, yeah, and he's not mad at you.
And so, Matt, just a special player and well-deserved.
When he was a freshman, they moved him up after 2 or 3 weeks. And we had an injury on the offensive line that just made it easy, transition. He played and did well. Obviously he's a freshman. But I was coaching the baseball team at the time. I put him on the varsity immediately. And he played third base as a freshman.
You're just an athlete.
Yeah, and he said, I said, Matt, you
and great attitude.
Oh, and he's like, Coach, he said, I love playing with my teammates. And, and he enjoyed it, and he was a good teammate. Like my brothers that played with him, Grant and JR, reflect back on just their teammates and everything. And he was he's just one of the good guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
Daniel Sipe was another one. Yeah. But we had a really good line at Maiden. Yeah. I mean, like really good. But the point being, to your point, Matt is just deserving of any accolade that he is.
And he did games with me for 2 years.
Did he?
But he'd get so emotional because he couldn't let it go. People do something stupid. He didn't like that.
He's a disciplined person.
Yes, he didn't like that.
He
did not like that.
He wants to do it right.
He was honestly, Tom did a couple years with me too. Matt was harder to control than Tom. which was kind of an understatement there. But anyway, Bob said Lenore Ryan softball defeated Lincoln Memorial yesterday in a doubleheader to move into solo second place.
Excellent.
Talon LeClaire, a graduate LR student, hit for the cycle and had 10 ribbies, the most in Division II softball this year.
How about that?
Pretty impressive. Let me take a break. We come back. We'll move on to something else, maybe talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. He got a big new contract. Back with more.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
Welcome back. Our good friend Mike Painter sent me a text and said, we was talking about it. He said that Sage Surratt, you remember Sage Surratt, East Lincoln, he played for them. He's not playing for them this year, but he won a state championship with East Lincoln and then won a championship with Birmingham last year in the USFL. That's
cool.
And then we were looking him up, and he's got a brother Chaz.
Oh.
But Sage and Chaz. This says that Sage is on the New Orleans Breakers, is where he's at now. He was a first-team All-ACC player in 2019, USFL champion in 2022, and he was named to the Fred Biletnikoff Award watch list 4 weeks into his redshirt sophomore season.
So it says he played with does that say the Chargers? Career
practice
history?
Squad.
Practice squad with the
Chargers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So he bounced between the Birmingham Stallions and then up to the Chargers.
Absolutely.
Was I don't know if he was a invited undrafted free agent to the Lions in 2021, but spent a little time with them too. And then his brother Chaz, of course, Sage played at Wake. Chaz played at Carolina.
Yeah.
And he was drafted by the Vikings in 2021, and he's currently on the practice squad with the Jets. So he's still out there playing too. Both those kids could play. I mean, there's just
and they transitioned.
Yeah.
From where they played, I guess, in high school, whatever. To they made that transition, and that tells you something about the athleticism, though, of the other positions, like tight end now. I think Sage, you said, was playing that. And then Chaz, we were talking at the break, is playing inside linebacker. Quarterback in high school.
And he bounced to a number of different positions at Carolina.
He did. He went from offense to defense.
Yeah, but then even on defense, he kind of –
and stuck at that outside linebacker. And I'm going to tell you what, with his speed and everything, but the way that the inside linebacker is today, if you remember Ryan Shazier that got hurt with the Steelers, he was not a very big –
right.
Big, but he could fly and he could hit. And
outside linebackers are almost a good outside linebacker can almost flip between safety and outside linebacker.
Like a hybrid strong safety.
Yep.
But with Chaz going to inside, kind of like Shazier was, these guys are not like huge, but they can fly. Yeah. And that tells you kind of the way that the defensive side's going to adapt to the spread of the offensive formations. Where used to, you had inside linebackers like Mike Singletary. You had true, what they called Sam backers.
But they played inside the ends.
Right, but they were fullbacks that were playing the fullback of your defense. And everybody constructs their defense.
Richie said that Chaz went from quarterback to safety at the start of spring. Then they moved him inside linebacker where he excelled. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's almost a crossover. Richie said Sage was undrafted, and he also said Sage made a big mistake by sitting out his senior year at Wake. And I think that too. Andrew's listening down in the big metropolis of Clover, South Carolina. Let me ask you this. Talking about
Andrew will be back for lunch today.
Positions and those type of things. It's always important to think about lunch.
Yeah, we've already talked about it yesterday.
Oh, I'm sure. Don't want to miss out on anything. I do want to ask you a question about I think the offensive line position is going to have some major modifications and adaptations moving forward, and I'll tell you why. I think you're going to be able to still have your road graders guard center guard.
Yep.
But your offensive tackles, these big 6'7", 300-pound offensive tackles, are going to have to change. And those tackles are going to have to become closer to defensive ends with speed and quickness because that 300 pounds, they can't move. And if you watch them, they can't handle those defensive ends because they can't get out there quick enough. So you're going to have to move to an offensive tackle that's got more speed. Defense has already done that. You don't have those big bruisers. A few defenses still have those big 350-pound nose guard, inside guard type tackles. Yeah. But most of them have gone to these 230 to 260,
just really
4'6", 4'5", 4'6".
Oh, absolutely.
Type players. And I think offensive tackles are going to have to do the same because they can't match up.
So
you're having to send backs to chip and that kind of stuff, or you're having to hold a receiver in to chip, and you can't do that. You got to get more out in the pattern, in my opinion.
No. To your point, that is what's going to happen. Or you're going to start seeing two backs in the backfield again.
Yeah.
And the motor graders, like you're talking about, staying five strong across with a sixth one in there, this hybrid tight end, glorified tackle. All right. And they're going to start mashing people in the mouth again. So it's going to be interesting to see the development of will that play out based on the offenses staying where they are? Or will they start going back to more inside?
Well, if they continue with the what I call run and shoot type offense now, which is instead of running the ball, I'm doing 3 to 5 yard passes to get those little chunks that I used to run. If they stay with that, they're going to have to change and become much more athletic on the offensive line, especially at tackle, to be able to compete. Yeah. Now, you don't have you're able to handle a big boy up in front at a nose or an inside guard position. You don't have inside linebackers that come as much, but you're going to have somebody that can match up from a speed and quickness standpoint with those outside linebackers and the defensive ends. Because really those positions have almost become interchangeable.
Well, the way that you
speed and quickness has replaced size in the NFL.
Right. In the NFL, it has in high school and college too. But the way that we saw that you negate that is you hit it in the mouth. We saw that with Reidsville. All right, as good as they were in 2A football, of course we played them. They beat us. Went on and beat Burns and went to state championship. And East Duplin lined up, which is a traditional wing T team, got out of the wing T, went heavy left. All right, shotgun, basically single wing stuff, modified single wing, box stuff, and just kept the ball 3 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards,
just
3 yards,
down
6
the field.
yards, 1 yard, 2, and kept the ball the whole night. They negated all that speed because Reidsville had that defensive end, that freshman that was 6'7", 6'8", 235, 200, whatever he was, 25, 235 pounds, huge. Well. It's just like Coach Lineberger told me, that guy that Mickey Lineberger coached it, down at South Point. Okay, he and John Devine did it for a long time. Then the guy before him. All right, I said y'all are not very big up front, and they weren't, but yet they won all these games. Like they beat Crest, and I said, Coach, you guys run this basically option out of what they call the spread bone, double wing, whatever option.
Red bone
I'm sorry, red bone. Yeah. And I said, how do you guys do this with the line that you got? Your guard's like 195 pounds, maybe 210. You got tackles that are like 205, 215, 230, whatever, against these huge Crest Charger defensive linemen. He said, Coach, our center and our guard together can move that 350-pound nose.
Yeah.
They can move him. And said, all we need is a crease.
See, that's the thing that you don't understand. When you don't have the size, your offensive linemen just need to screen.
Yes.
All they do, all they have, they don't have to move them. They just got to screen them where you can hit the seam.
And so we were,
but you got to have backs that know how to read the seams.
Well, I said okay. So I went down and watched them one summer. We're playing against the South Point Legion team, which was called Gaston Braves.
They were Gaston Braves, yeah.
Yeah, so we're down there playing them, and they were having spring football practice down the the baseball or down the football field. And I told Coach Lineberger, I said, look, we're coming back here in 2 days. All right, we have to come back, regardless of win or lose. We're coming back. I said, I want to come down and watch you guys practice. He said, we'll start about 4. He said, we'll start about. I said, it's really hot. He said, yeah. He said, we'll start about 4. So I watched them.
Could be hot when you play.
So I was down there. I got there a little early, and I watched them. I got there like 3:45, 4 o'clock, and I was watching them. And the way they did their blocking schemes, kind of what you're talking about, they said, you know what, we're going against these other big teams and do all this and do all that. And they did the same thing when they played Asheville years ago in the snow up there. They ran that veer option, and if they did it once,
that's
they
when
did it 3
Lowry
or 4
was
times.
quarterback.
Yes,
Devin Lowry.
If they did it once, Lane, they did it 3 times. 4 times. They ran that read option, veer option to the right, but they also had a throwing component off the split end running a slant.
Run the waggle.
Yeah.
And backside drag.
Well, basically what he did was he opened up.
Yeah.
And he read, he's reading that defensive end, but on certain places it looked like he's reading that outside linebacker hard corner, kind of what Coach Moore's talking about. And if that guy went to pitch at all and that receiver either got inside or behind him a little bit and they hit that seam, he caught that ball and took off and ran away.
And this was in the snow.
It was in the snow.
Yeah. Asheville thought they couldn't play with them because it was in the snow because they threw the ball.
That was not the case.
There's nothing harder.
Impressive.
And I've always said this, but you got to have the kids that can do it. When you can run an option with a short passing part of it, which is what they call it, the
RPO.
RPO.
The run pass option. Yeah.
That's what it is because it puts you in such a bind on who you're going to cover. Because if the corner breaks down, you've got a pass underneath.
It's just interesting to me too, Lenny. You talk about Coach Moore talking about the offensive line was the most important part to him, and then the corners. It makes a lot of sense. Depending on what defense you play. And what your scheme, your style is for your team, right? But it makes a lot of sense to do that because then it allows the defensive ends to be compression players. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have to worry about contain if you got really good corners.
Right.
That they're playing hard
and can play responsibility.
Right. And can carry but yet rally.
Yeah.
Carry that receiver but yet rally back when you see the bounce. I mean, that to me that makes a lot of sense what he said because they were very good defensively. As good as they were offensively with Edwards and all those guys, they were really good defensively, and that makes a lot of sense.
I don't know what Andrew's doing in Clover, but he's not going to get anything done because all he's thinking about is lunch since yesterday, he said. Lindsay said that they have got tickets to the Braves game on July 31st because it's Harry Potter night.
Whoa.
The nerds are taking over.
Whoa.
And she told me they went to the Carolina Spring game at Chapel Hill, and in case I forgot, Mac is back, and my question was, I didn't realize that Mac had left. Did I miss something? Or
Mac is back.
Mac is back. I'm excited
year
about
7 already?
Yeah, he's back. Richie said, I was told make them use their movement to go where you want them to go.
Yeah.
Well, but it's it's the part that makes the wing tee, the red bone, all of that stuff. It's a variation of it. But what makes it successful is you use it when you don't have the size and speed and skills of your opponent because it's about angles and it's about controlling things without having to move things. That's what it boils down to.
Lanny, too, you're right, and you look at an offense, and when you're dissecting it from a defensive side, right, and you're going against a team, let's say this like a double wing team that runs the option, the veer option. Well, you have to decide who the playmakers are. Is the fullback for that – I'm talking about just for that team. It's different for everybody. Is the fullback the one that makes that go?
On a little fullback trap.
In the wing tee, the answer is yes. It's not the tailback. It's the fullback. You have to stop the fullback in the wing tee. If you do, that's it. Nothing else will work. Nothing. All right, you can manage – I say nothing else will work. You can manage it from there if the fullback's not established. In the double wing, that may not be the case. You may have a fullback that is just an alley filler, for a veer or for an option, right? And then your wing backs or your quarterback may be what's most important. So when you're breaking it down, we played a team a couple of years ago locally that was very good in the double option, but the quarterback and the two backs were what made them go. So our game plan was let the fullback have 140 yards if he wanted it because he couldn't beat us. It was the other kids.
Took too much time.
Right. Yeah. And he's not used to carrying the ball that much.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Okay, I don't care if he gets 6, 7, 8 yards. I don't care. But those other guys aren't getting anything because they're the ones that score all the touchdowns. I get it.
Let me ask you this question.
So it's different. My point is it's different for every team. You know how you
just talking about that, in option football.
Yes.
Do you like triple option read, or do you like what I call a load or a lead option?
Depending on the players I have. So if I've got a quarterback that can truly read it, then I'm a big fan of the veer option. Okay, off of that. If I got a quarterback that can run the football, all right, but maybe is not the best reader, the load option really makes a lot of sense because now basically you've got a fullback / tailback, a hybrid back that is your quarterback, right, that is now a power runner, okay?
I always ran both.
Yeah.
I kept both in the package.
Oh, sure. No, yeah.
I made the determination on a game-by-game basis on what my defensive end was like or who my quarterback read was. On do I need help on him or is he going to blow me up every time?
Yeah, exactly.
And if he's going to blow me up every time, then I'm going to just read at the next level up on the corner because then the corner's got to make a decision. Right. Or you've got an inside linebacker that's going to scrape out and try to cover quarterback.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, and I think, knowing your team, like you said, and how you go about
it's more about who you're playing than your team,
right?
I think.
And knowing, well, that's what I'm saying, and knowing your team and knowing what their capabilities are based on what you're going against. What's interesting is I don't think people, that are fans of the game maybe see the in-depth parts that you have to do from a defensive side. We look at offensive game planning and doing this. From a defensive standpoint, there are things that you look for to be able to manipulate, within the offense and offensive package and things, that tendencies they have, all of these things. So it is equally, if not greater, on the other side of the football than, and to your point, you have to prepare for who you're playing for.
Yeah.
And I think that starts with knowing who your kids are and their abilities against, and being able to match that against what you're going against.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
It's hand-to-hand combat.
Yep.
It is warfare.
Yep.
And you kind of have to have that battle plan, understanding where the lines – where the lines are drawn, but then also where you can penetrate on either side of the line in advance.
Right.
Again, it's war. You have your infantry, which are up front. All right, then you got your tanks, which are in theory your fullbacks and your linebackers and stuff like that are behind the infantry up front, okay? And then you got your air support, which are your quarterbacks that throw the ball, your scat backs, and then throwing the ball to the other guys, right? So, there's a lot of similarities in how you do that and how you position things. And I think one of the mistakes that a lot of people that I have seen and done myself, and I'm just pointing this out, that I relied too much on the Air Force and not enough on what Coach Moore talked about, the infantry. You know what I mean? The infantry is the one that sets everything else up on both sides of the football. And, Coach Moore gave some good insight on that. And the corner thing is most interesting to me. And I think it makes a lot of sense what he talks about. And the great defensive coaches in the NFL want to draft very good corners.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a lockdown corner. It has to be a corner that can play it all.
Exactly.
Because they also, in the NFL now, there's more run support than there used to be too from a corner position.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Last few minutes, a little baseball. They're already talking. We're barely into the season, played 16 to 20 games.
Yep.
Some teams they're saying already out of it. Okay, it's early.
Well, I think
and
maybe Kansas.
Kansas City is at 4-13.
Yeah,
the Detroit Tigers are 5-9. The A's are 3-14. So the A's are dismal. Your Atlanta Braves are 13-4, sitting on top of the NL East.
Isn't Washington doing pretty bad right now?
5-11.
Yeah, they're down.
5-11.
I'm trying to think. I can't see the board, but I was thinking who else.
The Rockies are 5-12. Mike Powell's San Francisco Giants are 5-10.
Are the Giants down there too? Yeah. Who's first in that league? Is it the Dodgers or Arizona?
Arizona at 10-7.
And
the Dodgers with a losing record right now at 8-9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Padres at 8-10, and they lost to the Braves last night. That's where the Braves are.
So San Diego's in the middle too. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think you got to be above 500 right now, to make that May run to get into the break.
And how about those Pittsburgh Pirates at 10-7 early in the year with a winning record? They haven't been a formidable opponent in baseball in
it's been a while,
many years.
Well, now that's the Central, right? So how is Milwaukee doing?
Brewers at 12-5. The Cubs at 9-6. And then the Pirates at 10-7.
Okay, and the Reds.
The Reds and Cardinals 7-9, 7-10 respectively.
Oh, they're all fine. They're fine. They're all fine. Yeah.
The Phillies at 6-10. In the East, Marlins at 9-8, Mets at 11-6. Then you get in the West, in the AL, Rangers at 10-6, Angels 8-8, Astros 8-9, Mariners 8-9, and then of course the A's at 3-14.
Yeah, everybody's okay except the A's.
Yep. And then in the Central, it's the Twins at 10-6, the Guardians, the Indians are 9-7, the White Sox 6-10. Tigers 5-9, and of course the Royals at 4-13.
Those two are in trouble. They're in trouble.
Then on the American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays at 14-3, the Yankees at 10-6, the Blue Jays at 10-7.
Yeah, they're fine.
The Orioles are 9-7.
They're fine. And the
they
Red
may
Sox
make
are either second
8-9
or last.
Yeah, they're last, but at least they're hanging down close to 500.
So I think the American League East and then the National League. The National League Central will be the two that will probably be most exciting going into the All-Star break because I think they're the most compressed as far as, from last place to first place to make it a little exciting on a daily basis. So baseball's been a little better this year, Lanny.
Baseball and baseball has been better for fans. It's been better for numbers. You can actually watch a little baseball. My problem is I can't find baseball that I'm looking for. I guess I need to get MLB if I want to watch it because I stream. And YouTube TV doesn't have it. I got a lot of sports channels, but you used to, in this area, you could find the Braves somewhere every night. But now it's not as much like with Turner because I think they've redone the contracts and that kind of thing.
Now, what about do you have ESPN Plus?
I do.
Okay, yeah, so they've you
have to change.
But no, you're right.
It's aggravating to go do that.
You got to find it.
Yeah.
It's but you know what's neat about that?
I got all kinds of streaming channels.
Is the college softball, but what I can do is go between softball and baseball in between innings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
now I can watch college baseball.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and that's okay too.
Yeah,
I don't mind watching college baseball.
It's good.
But Major League Baseball has kind of made a comeback for me because it's not dragging around as much. Let's see. Kemp, good morning. He said, did y'all see the read option sticking around in the NFL? It can't. You especially if you're going to use these fragile quarterbacks, it can't.
It's a great question. Who sent that in?
Kemp was a tight end for me back in the day at West Lincoln.
At West Lincoln? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kemp's okay, yeah, I thought I recognized. Okay. So yeah, I think Kemp's a great question, and one that Laney and I, talk about not on the air but off the air too, about NFL players and even college. It's one of those things that as long as those defensive ends are as fast as they are, it makes it really, really, really hard. Mm-hmm. And then Laney brought probably the best point is the fragileness of and it's not that they're fragile people. They are getting crushed.
But the other side of it is when it comes to option, you don't have NFL backs that can take a pitch.
And that's right. And
that's a special trait right there of taking a pitch.
Right, because of what Coach Moore said of the corners in the NFL.
Corners can take your head off.
I mean, they're coming.
Yeah.
And they're getting there a lot quicker than what you see in high school and college because the athleticism is now the same or greater on the defensive side of the ball in most cases than it is on the offensive side, where in college that is not the case. That's why they don't run, to Kent's point, that's why they don't run the triple option in NFL football.
Well, the only thing that seems to work to some degree is the RPO. Okay?
Yes.
And you have to have a quarterback that has a threat of a run, but not making his money for the team on the run. There's a difference there.
Great point. The kid from Birmingham last night was that kid. And he is now, Laney, I know there's a difference between them and the NFL. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is if you look at a prototypical, this guy he's number 2 for Birmingham. He is legit. Like this is a serious, like Josh Allen big, not Josh Allen, but big, that made good decisions and is very smooth running the football. Very smooth in transition, very quick. He's decisive. And it was just like last night they put him in on like with 10 seconds left to go in the second quarter, and they took the other quarterback. I think he may have hurt his fingers or whatever, but they put this guy in. And they had to get in the end zone. They were like on the 12 or 13-yard line. Well, he's in the gun, takes the ball, looks, rolls out to his right about 4 or 5 steps, looks back, guy's open the backside of the end zone, throws it over the linebacker, and the corner was a little late getting there, safety. And the guy jumps up, makes a great catch, probably 8-10 feet, up with the hands. Great catch. Kid comes in one play. Well, they put him back out in their second half. It's incredible.
Well, I think from a quarterback standpoint, it's more important for you to have a quarterback that has the run threat more so than the quarterback that's going to make your bread and butter off
with
the
run.
Like a Cam Newton.
Sure. Absolutely.
Josh Allen can run, but that's not what his first thing is to do, even though he's a big-bodied quarterback. That's my point. And that's where you kind of got to separate between the two. Yes, sir.
I won't be here Thursday. Gotta go down.
Lunch?
Nope. I won't be here Thursday.
Okay.
I gotta go to Miami for a couple of days.
Yeah. Miami. There's a Miami in Lincoln now at the old Leo's. It's a fusion bistro. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is, but what it is. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.